Hey folks, and welcome back once again to my channel. I'm Marty, and today I want to talk a little bit about parallel compression, in particular how I use parallel compression on the analog console. So the basic concept with parallel compression is you might use it to bring up certain elements in the mix a little bit more defined, or to have it a little fatter in the mix, or for example on the drums to make them a little bit punchier. And normally when we look here at the DAW, for example, I got here the kick and the snare that I use parallel compression. When you take here the kick drum, you might want to create here an aux track. That's the normal way you would do it. For example, let's say bus 19 here. And on this bus 19, you might add, for example, a compressor. Let's use just here the stock Logic one, all right? So that would be basically the normal way how you would create the parallel compression. And what you then can do, of course, is you can blend in the signal how loud you want the parallel compressed kick drum, for example, to the original one. And on the console, I do basically the same. I have one track for the kick drum, and this track is on the direct output patched into another channel where the parallel compressor is inserted. So let me show you how that looks on the console. So here we have the kick drum channel, is the snare, kick drum parallel and the snare parallel. I'm going to show you on these two sound sources how that might work. So first of all, on this channel 1 here, I have a patch cable on the back on the direct output to channel 3, just a short patch cable, all right? And this is in pre, so not in post, because what I can do is, for example, treat on the original kick drum the EQ differently to the parallel compressed one. Same goes also for the aux and also for the faders, so for the volume. So I just want to sneak the parallel kick drum then underneath it. So let's play a little bit of the kick drum. Sounds like that. Got quite a good signal coming in. And what I did here now on the console EQ is I boosted a little bit of 4,000 to 5,000 hertz, just to have a little bit of the click of the kick drum. And that's basically it. In the DAW, I have here the SSL channel, where I just made a low cut of 30 and a little bit of compression of 3 dB, just with the standard compressor that's built into the SSL channel. And that's basically all I did. Oh, I have on the low end here a little bit of a boost, or actually quite a bit, 5 dB of 50, just to get a little bit more bottom end in the bell. Okay, and obviously everything you do on the kick drum in the box is also then on the console, also in the kick parallel, but that's actually no big deal. I sometimes treat it also just with the EQ on the console itself. And so I have two different options for the parallel and for the original kick drum. So let's listen now just to the kick drum. Let's bring it up in level. So that's the parallel kick drum now. And let me show you what I use here. I use the good old Elysees 3630 here. The channel 1, ratio 4:1, very fast, actually the fastest attack, 0.1 ms, and a release of around 200, 250, something like that. Okay, so without that, and with. Okay, and now let's turn it on again. Bring in the original one. Let's see when we sneak the compressed signal underneath it. It obviously gets louder, but also quite a bit thicker and a little bit more defined. You can hear a little bit more of the sustain. Again, without the parallel. Bring it a bit back. Okay. So for example, I could also use now a Q on the parallel to boost the top end. So you can really shape also the sound of the parallel. You can also bring out the bottom end a little bit more just on the compressed one, not on the original. Without and with. Okay, so that's for example the kick drum. Same goes for the snare. Let's mute that. So this is just the snare. And if here the snare parallel on channel 4, again, channel 2 is patched into channel 4. Let's listen to the parallel compressed one. And I use here the second channel of the 3630. So here we had the kick, here is the snare. And I use, again, 4:1 ratio, very fast attack, and here a little bit of a faster release, 150. It really depends on the source. For example, on bass heavy sounds like bass itself or kick drum, you might want to use a little bit of a slower release so that it doesn't distort. And as you can see, slamming pretty hard, -12 dB of gain reduction here. So without and okay. And when we combine that now with the original, without and with. Okay. Of course, you can also use a little bit more of a Q here again. Maybe let's boost a little bit of 7000 here. You can also reduce it. A little bit of a bottom end, 100. And let's bring in also the kick drum and maybe also the overheads, room sounds. So without the kick and snare parallel, and with. You can also just use a little bit more of the signal of the kick, for example, or a little bit more parallel compression of the snare. So you can really blend it how you like that, but I thought that sounds quite good so far. Okay, so that's how I do parallel compression on the console now. I have a little bit more of channels, 32 instead of 24, which had my previous console, so I don't have to sacrifice anything here. I also do it on the lead vocals and on the back vocals, really brings them a little bit forward in the mix, and I really like doing it now on the console, just because I have the channels. And it's really nice to treat it a little bit differently than the original signal. And of course, you can also do it in the box, but if you're using an analog console, that's basically one way I would suggest to do it. Okay, so thanks for watching. As always, please subscribe. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comments below. And as always, happy recordings and see you in the next video.